Hello, it's Jimmy here at the Wellies, and we have here to look at a Volkswagen Crafter. Okay, inside we don't currently have any warning lights on, but I've been told that it has got a repetitive issue, sort of every couple hundred miles or so the light will come back on. Okay, so for this video I'm going to use this one, which is this scan tool, which is the Mucar 892BT. This is a really good tool for the money, and I'll put the link where you can buy this in the description. I think I've got a 10% discount code on it, so we'll see how it works on this VW Crafter. It's a new Model 1 2021, this van. Alright, so in is VW CV, which is commercial vehicle. So the customer's got one of these. He said he's been getting a fault code up for regeneration frequency of the DPF. Right, we're going to run high speed scan. We've got the option for that on this. Okay, running the scan there. It's taking about literally 5 seconds to do. P2459 particle filter regeneration frequency and a P226D00. So either that says to me we've got a broken DPF which is passing soot, or we've got a DPF that has got an ash accumulation. Data stream will tell us what we're looking at here, hopefully. So if we look for the regeneration frequency, if we've got that information, hopefully we have. No, we don't have that information. No, it looks like we've got the kilometers since the last, but what I would like is the average distance between each regen. The time is not going to help, because let's get the pressure up. These have always got multiple pressure sensors for the DPF, so it can be confusing. We'll have to just try that one. 10 millibars pressure. So this engine is cold because obviously I was working on another car there, so it's been parked here for an hour or so. See, the thing is, once the engine is up to temperature, DPF pressure usually increases slightly. So I'm just going to hold the res up while it gets warm, and we'll look for the rest of the stuff. So we're going to do soot, measured and calculated, 18 grams. So there, we haven't got. If we had a damaged DPF, usually these soot grams can go in, be either really, really low, like 1 or 2 grams, or in negative, like -1 or -0.5 or something like that. So from that, it doesn't look like it's a damaged DPF in that sense, but 70 kilometers since the last regen, 18 grams on the DPF. So I can see there with the revs up at 2500, the soot grams are increasing rapidly there. So it definitely looks like an ash issue or a damaged DPF in the terms of maybe melted. So the only reason that the soot value could raise so fast like that is either we've got ash build up, which is causing the pressure to be too high in the DPF, or we've got a damaged DPF which is causing the pressure to be too high. Now either way, to verify that, I'm going to have to get the DPF off of this to see if I can verify what is actually going on. And if be the case, we get a camera down there, it looks okay, we will put it on our machine, back flush it, and that should sort the job. We've done many of these where they all suffer with ash. I think the AdBlue and soot can sort of combine and stick together, which causes like an ash-like substance, and it doesn't help. It does block up the DPF very, very fast. We're now at 19 grams, so basically less than a minute of the vehicle running there, we've got 19 grams. Let's let the engine idle down. See, we're at 12 now. It's increased a little bit. So basically the DPF pressure is about double of where it should be. It's not stupidly high pressure, but it's about double of where it wants to be. Now the same as the Vauxhall Vivaro's Euro 6 vehicles, they have a lot lower tolerances on the DPF. So before, your DPF on a Euro 5, you'd have to go up to stupid amounts of pressure, 150 millibars, before you would start having issues with the DPF regenerating. These ones, 12 millibars is too high, 10 millibars is too high. It has to be 6 or below. The magic number is 6 millibars or 6 HPA pressure and 6 grams of soot. That's what we want. So let's see if we can get that done. So the DPF itself is clean. We've not got any soot at the end of the exhaust there. So let's go down to the front. Okay, so to get this off, we've got a clamp here, and we've got a clamp just there. Some more clamps at the back end. These bolts don't look very good, especially for 2021. Don't know if we're going to get those off. Right, I'm going to leave the labour part of that to Dominic. He's going to get that DPF off, and then we'll get back in a few minutes. Okay, so we have the DPF off the van, and then we're just connecting it onto our carbon clean machine here. This is the stuff that comes out of the DPF. It's basically just like a sand, really. It's burned off ash soot. That's from the last DPF we've done. So first we turn the pump on. That will fill the DPF with fluid. Wait until we can see the fluid coming out the front of the exhaust here. Then we hit it with some air. Okay, now we've got it switched on. Let's try that again. Gives you a blast of soot. And again,
wait, I was just in front of it.
Put that on there. That is the stuff that comes out there. A lot of ash in there, definitely. 1, 2, 3. Getting cleaner. Okay, we've done that about 7 or 8 times, and now it's enough. So we're going to get it off. We're now getting clear water come out, basically. So here on the clamp, I've had to drill out the old bolt. It's snapped off, so we're just going to have to get a new bolt and put it in there. Very, very flimsy, these things. Yeah, so obviously this came with a bolt already inside. It was threaded in here, but obviously very, very weak and old. I mean, it's only 2021 van, so it shouldn't be that rusty, but it snapped off, and we just get a new bolt into it like that, either end. Dominic's going to get that fitted. He doesn't like being on camera. Right, so here's the old exhaust. We've had to obviously get it in 2 half sections to get it on the cleaning machine. This clamp as well, we've had to drill the bolts out of that. They wouldn't come out, so we're going to get new bolts on that. New bolts for the clamp that goes up here, sorry. Just getting that fitted back on there. Right, so at the minute we've got extra codes here. I don't know if I spoke about this code, which was the P226D. It's a bit of a weird code to have, considering that we have a block DPF. Normally you only get this fault code if, say, the DPF pressure hose has burst, or the DPF pressure pipe is blocked, and the pressure is obviously not reading, or it's reading too low. But we don't have that. We have the totally opposite of that, which doesn't make sense. The vehicle has went in for a software update from VW a few weeks back, and a few days after the software update, all of this happened. So ignore these. We've got these disconnected. Sorry, those ones. But he had the P226D and the other one, which is the P2459. There it is. Sorry. Yeah, so they weren't there until I had a software update, is what I was told. Okay, so now the DPF has all been fitted on. We start the engine, clear the fault codes, just make sure that they've all cleared. Yep. Now we can go back to our data stream. Get our data stream up. I'm going to hold the revs up again. That's the max revs at 2500 RPM. We just get that on the graph. Once the DPF starts to dry out, we should see that pressure now come down. It's wet at the minute, so it will still hold pressure. We should see that sort of come down now. So we're at 139 now. We'll pause it for a couple of minutes and then come back. Right, so the DPF's wet, so it's gonna get some steam out there. Right, we gave it a few spike revs up and down there for a minute. Well, it's been 3 minutes. Hold the revs again. We are now at 62. I mean, ideally, we can see these come down as low as around about 30 millibars on these fans once they've been cleaned out properly. So we'll see where that comes in a minute. We're still steaming at the minute. These lads, I hate being on camera, especially Dominic there. He gets real embarrassed when I get the camera out. But yeah, we're still dropping, got our numbers dropping down to, we're at 49, just about there so far. So I've been asked lots of times in the past to use this tool a bit on a few different brands, so I'll do that in the next few videos if I can. A lot of people ask, what, you know, will it work on this car, will it work on that car? Until I plug them in and see what it can do, I can't really say, but I will say it will work on 99% of cars, yeah. Now so far we're down to 42 millibars. As well, this tool is free updates, so you don't have to pay for any updates on it, and like I said, it's under 400 quid. Link for it will be in description, like I said before. And of course, if you're looking to get this sort of job done, what we're doing here on this, I'll put my email address in the video description as well. I do stress though that the email address is for booking appointments for repairs. It's not for emailing, asking questions about YouTube videos. We get 100 plus emails per day with questions like, oh, I've seen your video on YouTube, can I ask you a question about what was the pressure on this, or what scan tool you used on that car? We've got 2,000 videos. We don't know what video you're talking about, and I can't pay someone to sit at a desk answering 150 emails per day, because even once they're replied to, the conversation thread just goes on for days and days. It doesn't never end. We can't reply to questions in our emails regarding help or advice. We can only take bookings for jobs on that. If you're looking for help and advice, please use the comment section on the YouTube video here, and if I can get back to you, I will. If not, you can all try and help each other out with answering the questions in the comment section here. And if someone else has got the same issue, you'll also help them, because if you answer your question on that, if someone else wants the same question, it will be answered in the comment section. So exactly like I said, we would get it down to sort of 30 millibars is what we were looking for. We're there. Right, let's let go the revs now and see where we are at idle. Sort of let that settle down for a minute. 7 millibars so far. That will come down a bit more. I mean, it's only been fitted on the van with 6 minutes. We are still slightly steaming as well, so you see we're not dried out yet. So another 5 minutes and we should be there. Should be where we need to be. Just DPF has come down even a bit further there. Okay, if we come back from our data stream here, what we should see now, we should see these grams dropping. Even though we're not regening, but now that the pressure's low, we should see that dropping. There we go. That is dropping. 21.6. There we go. So that will continue now to drop down. And what we're going to happen now is it's not going to regenerate every sort of... this was regenerating less than every 100 kilometers. We could tell that by the data here. Because we were on sort of 15 or 16 grams, I think, and within a 1 mile test drive, it went from 16 to sort of 24, 20, 25, something like that, 22 maybe. But it jumped up significantly on a short test drive. So that's how we know, basically, within another 10 kilometers, it would have done another regen again. Right, let's let go of the revs again. See where we're sitting at now. Still at 7 millibars there. Okay, so to finish up there, we are at 6 millibars of pressure. These grams of soot, we can reset them, but we're just going to allow it to adjust itself down over the next sort of half an hour. That should adjust itself where it wants to be. And yeah, so it looks like it's a job well done. Just driven it round the block there, and then we're going to just do a rescan to make sure none of the fault codes have returned. So let's do that now. That's all good. Right, so that's it. We're all done on the VW Crafter, and see you on the next video.
Once again.